So I'm interested in your experience starting a startup in the data space and what you've learned, maybe also how the data space has changed since you guys entered.
Yeah, I mean, when we started, and I was just looking at this graph of people working at FANG companies, essentially in like the last 3 or 4 years, and how much hiring they did during COVID and before COVID, and how much they've kind of laid off now. Like if you look at the charts, it's like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Facebook, all four of those companies basically had either like half or two-thirds their headcount of what they have now, even after the layoffs. And so they just went to a huge hiring spree. So there was this huge bull market for all tech jobs, basically, in the past few years. And then recently of late, the only company that basically didn't do layoffs was Apple, right? But they also didn't grow as fast. So they only grew like 25% versus like 50%, 75% for these other
Yeah. Well, and
companies.
now Apple's also has their hands tied because now if they do layoffs, they lose all the goodwill that they had, even if it might make
Yeah.
financial sense for them, which is a very interesting social pressure aspect to it.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I think like I don't know if they will do layoffs or not. I mean, that's a hard question, right? But I would say that the companies that haven't done layoffs are the ones that basically didn't try to grow super fast during COVID, which is like if I talk to some friends, it's like Square, I think is like the other key company that basically is still like slowly hiring because they didn't just try to like zoom up and hire a bunch during COVID. Um, so yeah, I mean it's really interesting. I think the data space in general, like the things that we saw from our analysis recently, has been the fact that data science is more of an R&D type role, or maybe more of like this role where you're not getting defined outputs, almost so to speak. Like they're not either maintaining infrastructure, which is data engineering, or like being revenue focused, which is kind of data analytics and creating dashboards for executives. And so we're seeing less of those roles because maybe they have a longer time horizon and everyone's trying to maximize that like short-term cash flow right now. And so they really need to cut the jobs that aren't really, I guess, deemed critical in this point, or they don't need to hire for those roles. So, I mean, what we saw was December, year over year, data science jobs were kind of like cut almost in half, while data engineering and data analytics were fine. I want to see if this trend actually continues. I mean, it's really hard to predict. And, some of that is due to recessionary concerns where people want to hire for like roles that just don't pay as much. And data science commands a higher salary than a data analyst. Same with machine learning engineers. We're seeing a dip in that because machine learning engineers command an even higher salary than data scientists, right? And so it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out. But I mean, AI is not going anywhere. It's like the new hype thing for 2023. So it's not like data science is going to go anywhere either. I just think that there's going to be a reshift of like how people, apply these roles and how they kind of command these titles. And it'll be interesting to see.